Hey everyone, welcome back to FRC Forecast. I'm your host Angel, bringing you the latest for REEFSCAPE Week 5. Before we take a dive, let's take a look at last week and see how our correspondents did on our key feature events. Congratulations to Emma, who won with the most accurate prediction of Week 4. Remember that you can join in on the action with the FRC Fun Pick'em League. More details on Chief Delphi, Discord, and our website. Submissions due by Wednesday. For now, let's take a look at those Week 5 forecasts.
This video on fun is brought to you by our viewers, supporters, members, and also in partnership with the following. AndyMark provides superior service with the reliability that teams expect. Check out their sport gearbox and ratchet sport options to their tried and true compliant wheels used by teams all over the world. From mechanical and electrical products to tools and hardware, head on over to andymark.com for your one-stop shop of high quality and affordable solutions. Build your alliance with so many other FRC alumni who go to Kettering University. Every student at Kettering experiences their cutting-edge co-op programs that seamlessly blend the professional and academic worlds. Kettering co-ops are a fully immersive working experience at the leading edge of industry. Head on over to kettering.edu/first to learn more about their incredible programs and to get more information.
Our first group of forecasts takes us to the U.S. Northeast, where we have Steve, who will be covering the New England Hartford event, the New England UVM event, and the New York Tech Valley region. Then we'll pass it over to Jeff, who will be covering the FMA Centennial event, the FNA Montgomery event. Finally, we'll finish off with Evan, who will be covering the First North Carolina UNC Pembroke event, as well as the PCH Albany event.
Welcome to Week 5 in New England, folks, as teams fight it out for those last available district points to determine who's going to be going to Springfield in Week 6. Now, at the top of the leaderboard for this event, it's going to be Team 7407, the Wired Boars, already winners of Week 2 at Waterbury, where their powerful auto and endgame is what made the difference. But almost right behind them with almost an equal EPA is going to be Team 195, the Cyber Knights. Rounding out the contender list for this event is going to be Team 7153, Adios Dios, Eagles of Zeus, and 3164, Granbury Grunts. Now, to round out my picks for this event, I'm going to go with Team 175 Buzz Robotics for my dark horse pick. Coming off a Week 3 event win at Greater Boston, this Hall of Fame team always seems to find a way to make the clutch difference on a playoff alliance, whether it's the alliance captain or even the number 2 pick. Keep an eye out for these busy bees this week at Hartford. And good luck to all the teams competing in Hartford this weekend. And now to shift our attention up north for an event people have been waiting a long time for, and that's the first ever district event from the Green Mountain State. It's the UVM district event from Burlington, Vermont. 4909 Bionics is going to be your clear lock pick for this event. They already have finalist appearances at both Granite State and Pine Tree. This robot's going to be finally looking to make the win stick with an all-out offensive blitz, but they're going to be up against tough competition from a field of New England favorites, including contenders like 5687 Morpheus, 166 Chop Shop, and finally the team that's probably been waiting for this event the longest, Team 2370 iBots from Rutland, Vermont. On the topic of teams in Vermont, my dark horse pick for this event is going to be Team 9101 Green Mountain Robotics. Like I said, New England's been trying to make this event happen for a long time, and it's great that it's finally here. Good luck to all 32 teams in Vermont, and hey, make sure to check out the free Ben & Jerry's ice cream being served on Saturday. Leaving New England, let's make a quick hop over to Troy, New York, and take a look at the New York Tech Valley Regional, hosted on the campus of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. 57 teams from New York and a decent international contingent, including teams from Canada, Turkey, and South Africa, will be competing at this event and trying to make their way through the gauntlet. At the top of that list is going to be Team 3173 Igniters and their robot Dynamite, which is just an awesome robot name. Nipping at their heels, though, are 3 solid contenders, and that's going to be Team 1796, the Robo Tigers, Team 8070, Team RICE, and finally Team 20, the Rocketeers. Finally, if I have to pick a dark horse for this event, I'm going to go with Team 3044, OXBE4, who are already on a massive 2-year EPA upswing, and hopefully that momentum is going to carry them to even new heights at this week's event. That's all for me this week, and good luck to all the teams competing in New York this weekend.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the forecast for the 2025 FMA Centennial District event. First up, let's start with our lock team, Team 11, Mort. Coming off a Week 2 win in their own Mount Olive District event, Mort captained the first seed alliance to a compelling banner win to get their things started. Expect them to be further dialed in with their processes in their upcoming event. For our contenders, first 3314, the Mechanical Mustangs. Next contender is going to be 2607, the Fighting Robo Vikings. Finally, 1391, the Metal Moose. Putting up a season high 153 points in one of their later qualifier matches in their previous competition. To quote one of my favorite FMA game announcers, the moose is loose. Expect the students out of Westchester to find their groove and really start to hit the gas. Finally, our dark horse for the Centennial event is going to be Team 2495 Hive Mind. All right, that's it. Good luck to all the teams competing this weekend at the Centennial FMA District event. Hey everybody, welcome to the 2025 FMA Montgomery District event forecast. First up, our lock team, Team 5895 Petty Robotics. Now for our contenders. First contender is going to be Team 75, the Robo Raiders. Captaining the second alliance all the way to Elam's match 13 at Seneca in week 2. Team 75 has an above-average coral game with a ton of potential, and you couple that with their extremely reliable deep climb. Our second contender is going to be Team 3637, the Daleks, and rounding out our contenders is Team 293, Spike. For our dark horse at the FMA Montgomery District event, we're going to pick Team 1403 Cougar Robotics. They have some home field advantage being the host team of the event, and they are known to have a big upswing as they move into the second half of their season. Good luck to all the teams competing this weekend in Montgomery.
It's time to head on a bit further south to the FNC Pembroke event. This event is the last district event before DCMP, and it is looking to be a fierce competition as teams battle over the final district points. My lock for this event is Team 900, the Zebracorns. They are traditionally one of the strong, most consistent robots in the district. My contenders are Team 6894 Ice Java, 2059 the Hitchhikers, and Team 4534 Wired Wizards. My dark horse for this event is Team 9297 Bogobots. This is a second-year team that has an impressive robot. This robot with some tuning could make them a fantastic alliance partner. Now it's time to move a bit further south to the PCH Albany event. This event is also the last district event before PCH DCMP, and it is looking to be an exciting one. My lock for this event is none other than Team 1771 North Gwinnett Robotics, with one of the top robots in the PCH district. Up next are my contenders, Team 6919 the Commodores, 1261 Robo Lions, and Team 6925 WA Robotics. My dark horse for this event is Team 6023 Discbots. With a pretty fast robot that could use a bit of extra tuning, I think Discbots are set up to do well at this event, and they could be a fantastic alliance partner.
Thanks everyone. Let's head over to the First in Michigan District. We'll start off with Luke, who will be covering our featured event, the Kentwood event, as well as the Ferris State event and the Livonia event. Then we'll transition to Varsha, who will be covering the Macomb event, the Midland event, and the Renaissance event.
Alright everybody, it's finally here. It's week 5 in Michigan. DCMP's right around the corner and everybody's scrambling for that last spot. It's going to be a tough week across the state, but we're starting it off here in the Grand Rapids area at the First in Michigan District Kentwood event. This is a great event every single year, a lot of high scoring, and we're going to get right into it with our lock, Team 2054, the Tech Vikes. They were finalists at St. Joseph and the West Michigan District events. They've got the 13th highest EPA in the state, highest EPA at the event. They've already theoretically got enough points for states, so they're locked in, and they've got nothing to lose coming into their last regular season event, and they're going to be wanting that blue banner for this year. But they've got some tough robots to go up against. Kicking it off in the contenders, we've got Team 2075 Enigma Robotics. They were captain of Alliance 2 at Muskegon, had a great showing, came up just short playing Alliance 3. They've got the second highest EPA at this event, and after a week of fine-tuning, they're amazing Auton. They're just an overall well-rounded robot. They're going to be looking to three-peat here at Kentwood, and it's going to be tough for teams to stop them. On our second contender slot, we've got Team 4967. That one team, our next Engineers. They were finalists at the tough First and South Carolina Hartsville District event. They've never missed playoffs at Kentwood, and they just won Impact at the LSSU event up in Sault Ste. Marie for Week 4. So they've got nothing to lose here, all to gain, and they're looking for that second blue banner before states. Rounding us out on contenders, I've got Team 4381 Twisted Devils. They've got a super consistent robot. They're always in the top 10. They've got the 6th highest EP at this event, and they're looking to get their first win at Kentwood since Rapid React in 2022. Finally, on the dark horse, we've got Team 10633 Robotics. They were 17th at Berrien Springs for their rookie event, and they capped it off by winning the Industrial Design Award, and man, did they earn it. Taking a look at their robot, they've got this super sleek kitbot-like design with an amazing algae intake, allowing for both ground and coral reef clearing. Just overall well-rounded, super zippy, super fast, super flashy, just an amazing rookie team. And they're going to be looking to be a top alliance partner, and I think they might have a chance to sting this competition and make a splash. Up next, we've got the First in Michigan Ferris State District event. This is the first time this event will be hosted after being previously scheduled to be hosted during the 2020 season and being unfortunately canceled. So, how will this first event turn out? Let's get some forecasts going. For the lock, I'm going with Team 7211 Lights Camera Hollywood out of Holly, Michigan. They were finalists at Kettering 2, which is always a tough event, and they've got the highest EPA at this event. For contenders, I'm going with Team 10589 Binary Cows, Team 107 Team Robotics, who just won Impact at the West Michigan District event, and Team 494 Martians. For the dark horse, I've selected Team 7054 SC Sailors. Good luck to all the teams competing this weekend at the First in Michigan Ferris State event. Up next, we've got the First in Michigan Livonia District event. For the lock, I've gone with Team 2337 Engineers. For the contenders, I'm starting off with the host team, Team 2832, the Livonia Warriors. Up next, we've got Team 3641, the Flying Toasters. And rounding us off, we've got Team 7220, Steel Falcons. For the dark horse, I've selected Team 8424, Tractor Technicians Next Generation. Good luck to all the teams competing this weekend at the First in Michigan Livonia District event.
Next up, we have Macomb District event. My lock is 3539, the Biting Bulldogs, who have already competed twice this season. They were event finalists at their first event at the Berrien Springs District event, and they blue bannered the Greater Pittsburgh Regional event. My first contender is 217, the Thunder Chickens, who were also event finalists at the Berrien Springs District event. Other contenders include hometown team 818 Steel Armadillos and 1189 the Gearheads. My dark horse is 5053 the Lakers, who are event finalists at the Troy District event, and they showcase some valuable defense skills here. And with that, best of luck to all the teams competing at Macomb this weekend. Next up is the Midland event. My lock is 5216 Evil Empire, who ranked 3rd and won the blue banner at the Mount Pleasant event. Challenging them is my first contender, 5166, the Fabricators, who ranked 7th and were part of Alliance 4 at Woodhaven. Other contenders include 3175 Night Vision and the hometown team 3770 Blitz Creek. My dark horse is 8517 Bounty Hunters, who showcased an impactful defense, shutting down coral stations at their last event during playoffs. With that, best of luck to all the teams competing at Midland this weekend. For our last event, we'll be heading to the Motor City for the Renaissance District event. My lock is 1701 Robo Cubs, who ranked 2nd at the Ferndale event. Challenging them is my first contender, 6615 the Belvillians, who were event finalists at Belleville. Other contenders include 5530, the Green Hill Lawnmowers, and 4405, the Adams Family. My dark horse for this event is 7865, Robotics, who made playoffs at Wayne and showed great pushing power. With that, best of luck to all the teams competing at the Renaissance District event, and all other teams competing at Michigan this weekend. Over to you, Angel.
Thanks, guys. Let's head over to the U.S. North, where we have Nick, who will be covering our featured event, the Midwest Regional, as well as the Miami Valley Regional. Then we'll transition to Adam, who will cover our second featured event of the group, the Finn Washington District event.
Thanks, Angel. I'll start off with the Midwest Regional, coming up this week in Arlington Heights, 20 miles northwest of downtown Chicago. It has a long history of being a strong event, and this year is set to be no exception, ranking in the top 10 for top 8 EPA and mean EPA this week. With that being said, here's my top picks for who I expect to do especially well there this weekend. Starting things off is my lock, or the team I truly expect to win, which is 111 Wild Sting. They're the only team to have been in the Midwest Regional Finals every year since the COVID shutdown and came out swinging once again this year. 4 weeks ago in Duluth, they showcased a robot that could score in all the ways that are available. They were already efficiently scoring in all those places with a skilled drive team in Duluth, and they've had those 4 weeks to just keep getting better. That's why I view them as my lock going into this event. Now on to my contenders. These are the teams that I still expect to do very well, but don't hold quite as much certainty for as my lock. First among these is going to be 4143 Mars Wars. We saw them this past week at the Central Illinois Regional, where they wound up as finalist Alliance captains. With their sideways elevator, base manipulator, and a small attached hopper to allow for a wider range of coral station intake positions, they served as a great coral specialist on their Alliance. That rather quick elevator paired with their deep climb slots them in as my first contender. This leads me to my second contender, which is 2338 Gear It Forward. They last played 2 weeks ago at the Rocket City Regional in Huntsville, Alabama. There, they served as the 1 seed and captains of the winning alliance, playing in the event's high-score matches for both qualifiers and eliminations. They debuted with a wide hopper allowing for lots of buffer on their coral station intaking and systems to score coral and pull algae off the reef, as well as climb the deep cage in a matter of seconds. While the robot wasn't quite as zippy as Wild Sting or Mars Wars, they still put up an extraordinarily impressive performance. I'm looking forward to seeing what they will do this week at Midwest. Now, my final contender is 3061 Husky Robotics. They're coming off an impressive season, helping design Crescendo itself and making it to Einstein on the Johnston Division champions. This season is looking to be another strong one for them, especially looking at their performance up at Northern Lights 4 weeks ago. Their elevator is zippy, quickly delivering coral to its respective locations on the reef, and their hopper helps provide insurance for lining up to intake. While they had some issues with lining up quickly to score when they were in Duluth, they've had plenty of time to work with that, and some new footage released indicates that they are much quicker at this now. They've really improved for the past few seasons, and I'm excited to see how they can continue this streak this weekend. Finally, that leads me to my dark horse, or a team that I have strong expectations for, but that also doesn't have a ton of name recognition. My pick here is 9692 Sigma, coming from their home halfway around the world in Mumbai. Last week, they showed off their robot at the Long Island Regional, serving as the 5th overall pick. They showcased a pickup system that offers a wide buffer range at the coral station and a coral manipulator that can slide back and forth on their elevator. The robot fulfills a rather simple architecture to cycle coral, and all while they're in just their second year of competing. This is their first year competing in US Regionals, and I'm excited to see them keep building up their reputation as time goes on. Now, onto a quick mention of the Miami Valley Regional. My highlight here goes to 4145 Warbots. We're having a much stronger season right now than in recent years. They brought out a robot with a quick elevator and reliable coral scoring mechanism, going all in on this niche. It served them well, making them the 2nd overall pick at Greater Pitt. I'm excited to see what they do in Cincinnati this weekend. With that, moving on to Adam to talk about Indiana's Washington event. Take it away, Adam.
Welcome back to Indiana for the Washington District event forecast. With 26 teams at the event, and this being the final one before the district championship, everyone is coming ready to play for the last few points in their slot in week 6. Starting with our lock, it's 1501 Thrust, with yet another dominant performance at Kokomo in week 3. 1501 has been amazing all season, and I see no reason why that would stop now. With 2 additional weeks of practice and possibly some iterating to make barge net shots possible, it'll be very impressive to see anyone top their 61-point EPA or to stop a third banner from being hung in their pits. Moving on to our contenders, first up, it's Team 868, the Tech Hounds. Tech Hounds came out swinging with an impressive 15-2 record at their first event. Boasting an EPA of 55, consistent coral and algae scoring, and plenty of driver practice, 868 made it very hard to determine who would be the lock and who would be the contender for this event. With an already amazing robot, the 2-week gap is sure to do nothing but allow them to reach new heights. I would even go as far as to predict very similar lines to Week 3 forms, where they won alongside Thrust. Next up, we have Team 7617, the Roboblazers. Roboblazers took a unique approach, being one of only 5 teams in the entire district to have their first competition during the Week 4 Lafayette event. However, they put up an incredible performance all the same, and even made it to finals as the first pick of Alliance 7, upsetting other alliances along the way. Between consistent cycles and a deep climb, which may be a rare commodity at this event, it's certain 7617 will put up another great performance this weekend. Closing out our contenders, it's Team 3940 Cybertooth. Cybertooth is an absolute ranking point machine, quickly scoring on all levels and having a ground intake to place Coral quickly in L1, which we have seen accomplished by only 1 or 2 robots at each Finn event so far. 3940 is sure to rank high, similar to their last event, where they captained the second alliance to a 3rd place finish. This is before even including their deep climb, which allows them to snag some points right at the end of the match. Overall, 3940 is a beautiful looking robot and is sure to match that look with an equally beautiful performance. To close out our forecast, it's our dark horse Team 1720 Fixed Gears. Every year, 1720 approaches the game with mechanisms different from their peers, and REEFSCAPE is no different. While many are familiar with their robots from past seasons, particularly 2019 and 2020, Fixed Gears is very much trending upwards this season and could make a solid run as an alliance captain. Good luck to all competing, and let's head to Angel for a quick break before our next regional.
Thanks, guys. Staying in the U.S. North, we move over to Robothino, who will be covering our first featured event, the Minnesota 10,000 Lakes Regional. And then we'll move over to Dan, who will cover our second featured event, the Phantom Lakes Regional, as well as the Iowa Regional.
The 10,000 Lakes Regional, sponsored by insert name here. Wait, there isn't one this time? Well, same regional name, new venue. Should be seeing some great matches and strategies. Lots of bots here that have competed once, so improvements for some will drastically change how they perform. I also think the match schedule is going to play a huge role at this event. So let's get into my lock-in pick for taking this thing home. Going to give that one to 2847 the Megahertz. They've already taken home 1 win at Lake Superior Regional without being Alliance number 1. Their 3-piece non-floor intake auto will serve them well throughout this event. Also, their high fling and algae toss into the barge gets them back to scoring Coral even faster. They're going to be a hard bot to stop. But first on my contender list for that spot is 2491 No Mythic. They were our first pick of Alliance 4 in Week 1 Northern Lights and had one very elegant purple scoring machine. Sliding up and taking the algae and then placing the coral in the same movement was an amazing thing to watch fieldside. With that extra time they've had, I have a feeling they've dialed in their bot to be even faster. The drive team behind this bot plays their hearts out every match. They'll be coming for that win. Moving on to my second contender pick, 3297 Full Metal Jackets. They captained Alliance 5 up in Great Northern last week and had one solid bot. They've got an arm intake that can reach the floor and score both algae and coral. With these weeks and a few tweaks to their ground pickup arm, it's going to take them far into this event. My last contender pick for this event is going to have to be 6045 Saber Robotics, the champs team last year and a very sleek looking bot this year. It'll be their first event this season, so it'll be a battle. But they've got a wide grabbing arm for coral and an algae grabber that can barge, this bot's going to make its way to the top. As for my dark horse pick, once again, I'm going to be very biased, and I'll be going with Team 3883, the team I helped mentor. 10,000 stars may need to align for this, but Season 15 is where this team gets its first regional blue banner. From a second peek on Alliance 8 in Week 1, Northern Lights, this team's been working hard on improvements to their machine. Fast coral loading from the feeder station, auto line for levels 2 to 4, and a quick, reliable deep climb will get this team that first regional win.
Now we turn our attention to Maquanago, Wisconsin for the first and only Phantom Lakes Regional. This is one of the unique short regional pilot events featuring 41 teams from multiple states and countries. With a mix of powerhouse programs, rising contenders, and hometown favorites, this competition is shaping up to be a thrilling showdown. The mean EPA of 26.3, this event is going to be one of our best looks at what a district championship or what the championship in Houston will look like this year. If there's one team to beat at this event, it's going to be 1732 Hilltop Robotics. This Wisconsin-based powerhouse has been a dominant force in FRC recently and is chasing their 6th banner since 2022. They're hungry for redemption after a tough 3rd place exit at Lake Superior Week 1, and they're still looking to punch their ticket to the championship for the 14th time in team history. Despite the setbacks they faced in Duluth, they showed off a consistent 3.5 piece autonomous mode and a deep climb, making them a highest scoring machine even by current standards. With the time in between week 1 and now, time to iterate and refine, I expect them to be even sharper this weekend and be putting up 70 plus points a match. Looking to challenge them, however, is going to be 4635 Prepatech Botbusters from Mexico. Coming all the way up to Wisconsin, the Botbusters are already championship qualified after a dominant Week 1 victory. However, don't expect that they will take their foot off the gas. This team is here to win. They're armed with a sleek ground intake, a strong deep climb, and multiple reliable autonomous modes that will allow them to play well with just about any team on this field and complement a wide range of alliance types and strategies. Also looking to challenge these teams is going to be 9401 Midas Mayhem from Troy, Missouri. Although a newer name in FRC, make no mistake, Midas Mayhem is on the rise. They made a big statement last year with a banner when they were finalists this year at the St. Louis Regional, their first event. They're looking to build on that momentum, and with a 3-piece level 4 autonomous mode and a deep climb, they're well equipped to seed high at this event. With having 2 weeks to improve since St. Louis, I'm excited to see what they're able to bring from the field. Finally, as a contender, we have our host team, 930, the Mukwonago Bears. As the home team, they are making their season debut, and while they haven't officially competed yet, they did give a sneak peek of their robot at the Sussex scrimmage, and word is they've made significant upgrades since then. With plenty of time for them to reiterate and add new abilities, I fully expect them to come out swinging. Our dark horse for this event is going to be 8701 Graffiti. Graffiti has had its ups and downs this year and at the Seven Rivers event, but when everything clicked, they proved they could score north of 40 points a match. And they did end the event with a working deep climb, which has the potential to be a real difference maker in terms of seeding at Phantom Lakes. If they were able to fine-tune their execution and iron out some of those small pesky issues, they could really surprise everyone. With a stacked lineup featuring a blend of local and international powerhouses, Phantom Lakes is shaping up to be one of the most exciting events of the season. We'll walk away with the first and only Phantom Lakes banner. We'll find out soon. Best of luck to all 41 teams competing this weekend. Next up, we go south to the Iowa Regional in Cedar Falls, Iowa. Our lock for this event is going to be 1706 Ratchet Rockers, coming off an impressive win at the St. Louis Regional. Looking to challenge them though and take home a blue banner for themselves, it's going to be 176 Children of the Corn, 9092 Tower Robotics, and 967 Iron Lions. Our dark horse for this event is going to be 3134 The Accelerators. While this team hasn't taken home a robot performance banner in their team history, they did have an impressive run week 3, and I expect them to seed high here and surprise quite a few teams. I'm looking forward to see what every team brings to the table here, and best of luck to all 51 teams competing the Iowa Regional this weekend.
Thanks, guys. Moving on over to the U.S. South, we start off with Tossie, who will be covering our featured event, the First in Texas Space City event, as well as the First in Texas Amarillo event. Then we'll move over to Scott, who will be covering our second featured event, the Greater Kansas City Region.
Heading over to the Space City at Friendswood District event, we have 34 teams competing in this event. Space City is the last district event for First in Texas before we reach district championship. So this is going to be a fun one, as it always is. And with 34 teams, my lock was very easy to pick, which was Team 118 Robonauts. Already with 4 blue banners under their belt, already played the most matches out of everyone in the world with 68 matches. with the number 8 worldwide EPA, number 6 in the United States, and number 1 in Texas, 86.2. Robotics is walking into Space City, their home event, to come back with a blue banner to get that 5 under their belt. 118 is a team that everyone knows, everyone's excited to always see, but always a scary one to see when they're on the opposite side of your field. So we know 118 is going to have a really fun time at Space City. But we still have a few contenders that could fight 118 for that spot, or be their alliance partner for the number 1 alliance. My first contender is Team 231 High Voltage. They competed at Week 1 Tomball and Week 3 San Antonio, which they had a bit of a rough performance in Tomball, had a better performance at San Antonio, where they increased their EPA by 8.8 from a 29.2 to a 38. They now have a rush-styled intake and end effector mechanism, able to rotate wrist, pick up algae actually with their end effector, which it's a bit finicky sometimes, but other than that, it works really well. So I'm excited to see them compete at Space City once again. Of course, with a bit more driver practice and a bit more fine-tuning, they're going to perform really well at Space City. For my next contender, I have 324 Chips. They competed at Week 3 Victoria, so they've only had one competition under their belt. So heading into Space City, they have a really beautiful robot with a wrist mechanism and able to also do algae, the processor, with a back mechanism. So they're gonna be looking really good. They proved Statbotics wrong in semis 10, where Statbotics predicted them to lose, but they actually won with this 26-point difference. So they also came in number 4 at Victoria. So this is gonna be really fun to see them compete at Space City, and they're gonna aim for that Alliance 1's pick. For my last contender is 7492 Cavbots. They also competed at San Antonio. They also have a really nice robot. They have a really simple funnel intake mechanism for their coral, and also a wrist at the bottom of their coral mechanism for the algae, which is able to pick up algae off of the reef and put it into the net. So they're going to have a really good time at Space City, taking that advantage of the algae, because algae is always important, especially in playoffs. It can make or break your match. So it'll be really fun to see them compete at Space City. For my dark horse, I have Team 6357, the Spring Constants. They had a bit of a rough start at Belton, but Belton's a Week 2 event, so walking into Week 5, they have had plenty of time to do a lot more driver practice, a lot of fine-tuning, and I know that they're going to do really, really well at Space City. So good luck to all 34 teams competing at Space City. I'm excited to see you guys compete, and have a great time. Heading over to the Amarillo District event, we have 36 teams competing at this event, with my lock being undefeated team 6369 Mercenary Robotics, who won the Belton District event with ease. Now they're coming to Amarillo to get their second blue banner of their season, with my first contender being 3310 Blackhawks Robotics, who were finalists at the Waco and Planet District event. They're coming to Amarillo with 3 open weeks of driver practice and fine-tuning. They're going to for sure make a stand. With 9128 8can Robotics also competed at Plano, but also Victoria. They won the Victoria District event. They're coming to Amarillo to make another showing with a actually modified and different robot, so it'll be fun to see them compete. 5411 Robo Talons won the Plano District event, so they're going to come to Amarillo and have a really great showing there as well. 1164 Project Neo is my dark horse for this event. They have a really unique tunnel-styled robot with a really nice arm mechanism, so I'll be really excited to see them compete again at Amarillo. Good luck to all 36 teams competing at the Amarillo District event.
36 teams will come together at Park Hill South High School in Riverside, Missouri for this year's Greater Kansas City Regional. This will be one of the 3 events this year testing out the shortened regional schedule, so if you're interested in seeing how that goes, you can watch this event. 30 of the 36 teams have already played at least one regional so far this year, so the field will have plenty of teams that already have matches under their belt for this year's game. Let's take a look at some of the top teams that will be looking to take the win for this year's event. Starting off with my lock for the event, it's going to be Team 1987, the Broncobots, from Lee Summit North High School in Lee Summit, Missouri. They were captains of the 7th seed of the 2025 Central Missouri Regional. And although they had an early exit at Central Missouri, this team has been hard at work making significant improvements in both auto and teleop. With a nearly 4-piece autonomous and vastly improved teleop scoring for both coral and algae, 1987 will be looking to show why they are the team to beat. My first contender for the event is their neighbors from Lee Summit High School, also in Lee Summit, Missouri. It's Team 1730 Team Driven. They were the number 1 seed after qualifications at last week's Heartland Regional, and making it all the way to the final match of the lower bracket. 1730 will be aiming to improve on their performance from last week. With a 3-piece autonomous, excellent coral scoring, and a reliable deep climb, 1730 should prove every bit the competitor they were last week when they claimed the number 1 overall seed. My second contender for this event is going to be Team 1710, the Robotics Revolution from Olathe, Kansas. They were the 2nd overall seed at this year's Central Missouri Regional, also making it to the final match of the lower bracket. 1710 has had several weeks to improve their robot and should do well in capitalizing off their momentum from a few weeks ago. Capable of scoring in all facets of this year's game and a more robust robot, 1710 will be on the heels of the other top competitors looking to take advantage should they falter. My final contender for the event is going to be Team 5801 CTC Inspire from the Career and Technology Center at the Fort Osage School District. They were ranked 3rd after qualifications at the Central Missouri Regional. 5801 will be eager to take the final step after making it all the way to finals and looking to claim victory at this event. With their pivoting elevator, CTC was able to put up quite the fight at Central Missouri, but they seem to have struggled with algae and a level 4 coral. But having 3 weeks to improve, I expect that they've made the right adjustments and will be back in the mix to claim the number 1 seed. Finally, my dark horse for the event is going to be Team 9410 Powerhouse Robotics from Liberty North High School in Liberty, Missouri. 19410 showed some excellent potential in being able to quickly manipulate both coral and algae at the Rocket City Regional, but they seem to struggle a bit with their accuracy. If they can dial in that accuracy, they will certainly be a powerhouse to perhaps challenge the other contenders at this year's event.
Thanks, guys. Finally, for our last group of forecasts, we head over to the international stage and the US West, where we have Emma, who will be covering our featured event, the Ontario McMaster University event, as well as the Ontario Windsor Essex Great Lake event. Then we'll move over to LJ, who will cover the Contra Costa Regional, as well as the Idaho Regional and the Las Vegas Regional.
Welcome back to the Ontario District for our final week before District Champs. This week we have the highly anticipated McMaster University event. Starting off with my lock, Team 2056 OP Robotics, currently sitting at 4th globally and 1st in Canada with an EPA of 98 on Statobotics. With 1 blue banner from the Niagara event, this team will no doubt have their eyes on a second. OP never fails to field efficient and consistent machines, and this year is no exception. Debuting a 4-piece auto at their last event, I'm excited to see what's in store for McMaster. Moving on to our contenders. First up, Team 1114 Symbotics, a team usually mentioned alongside 2056 with the most successful team-ups in FRC history. Will this weekend mark number 21? Simba Suzuki showed off an impressive 3-piece auto, algae placement in the barge, and accurate placement on the reef in their last event. The second contender is Team 1241, Theory 6. This will be 1241's 3rd event of the season. With the semifinals and finals placement, they'll be gunning for that blue banner this weekend. With a fast elevator and accurate placement on the reef, other teams will have to work hard to keep up with 1241's spot. The third contender is Team 2200, BCR Blackout. Teaming up with 1114 at Niagara College, this sleek-looking robot glides around the field effortlessly. With a large chute for coral, 2200 has minimized their time at the coral station to maximize their time scoring points. They can also score algae in the barge and quickly climb on a shallow cage at the end of the match. And last, but certainly not least, 6978 Quickstrike Niagara is the dark horse. With a floor intake for coral, this bot doesn't need to cycle to the coral station for another piece. This robot quietly does its thing, placing coral after coral on the reef until the match is over. That's it for my McMaster predictions. Good luck to all teams competing at this event. Moving on to the Windsor event. With a win last weekend, Team 4678, the Cybercabs, are my lock, setting the world high score and then tying it again in playoffs. This team has what it takes to pick up their 2nd blue banner of the season. With their quick cycles and unique coral manipulator, you don't want to miss their matches. The first contender of this event is Team 4907, the Thunderstamps. Finalists at Durham College, this team will be looking for a 2025 Blue Banner. With the current EPA of 53.1, I'm excited to see what they've changed since their last event. The second contender is Team 781, the Kinetic Knights. Picking up silver at their first event where they pushed finals to a third match, this team has what it takes to go all the way. With a quick elevator and accurate placement, this team scores coral on the reef like it's nothing. Our final contender is the Copperhawks, Team 5912. They'll be looking to beat their previous playoff showing of Match 10 at the Waterloo event last week. And last, but certainly not least, is the dark horse Team 8081 UMEI Lightning Robotics. Expertly placing coral on the reef, this sideways elevator will quietly rack up the points. Good luck to everyone competing this weekend.
Over here at the Contra Costa Regional, competition is heating up, with the top 4 teams being in the top 100 EPA worldwide. Let's get into our locks, contenders, and dark horse. 1323 is going to be locked for this event, having placed first in the world EPA with a pivoting elevator, scoring every level with incredible precision. Our contenders for this event are 1678 Citrus Circuits, 604 Quicksilver, and 3478 Prepatech Lambot. Our dark horse for this event is 6665 Sea Otters. With an impressive 9.8 endgame EPA, they will be a solid second pick for some of the top alliances. Over here at the Idaho Regional, competition is looking very stiff, with some very high-ranking teams. Let's get into our locks, contenders, and dark horse for this event. Our lock for this event is 359 Hawaiian Kids, with a very familiar-looking robot. They won their first regional and are set to win another, in my opinion. Our contenders for this event are 3045 Beer Gremlins, 2122 Team Taters, and the 696 Circuit Breakers. Our dark horse for this event is 3245 Ravens, with an impressive auto EPA of 11.1. Over here at the Las Vegas Regional, competition is heating up. Our lock for this event is 4414 High Tide. They are, as always, a very competitive team and have room to do yet another rebuild as they did last year for Las Vegas Regional. Our contenders for this event are 987, 3990, 7426, and 2403. Good luck to all teams competing this weekend.
Thanks, everyone. Well, that concludes this episode of FRC Forecast. Remember to leave your predictions down below about who you think the locks, contenders, and dark horses are for your event. And don't forget that you can join in on the action with the FRC Fun Pick'em League. Submissions due Wednesday. For now, I'm Angel. You're watching FRC Forecast.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to stay up to date on future fun videos. Build your alliance with so many other FIRST alumni who go to Kettering University. Every student at Kettering experiences their cutting-edge co-op programs that seamlessly blend the professional and academic worlds. Kettering co-ops are a fully immersive working experience at the leading edge of industry. Head on over to kettering.edu/first to learn more about their incredible programs and to get more information. AndyMark provides superior service with the reliability that teams expect. Check out their sport gearbox and ratchet sport options to their tried and true compliant wheels used by teams all over the world. From mechanical and electrical products to tools and hardware, head on over to andymark.com for your one-stop shop of high quality and affordable solutions.